What's going on, interwebs? Just a super short video, well, short per se, on Infinite Warfare and is it worth it? I'll be doing one on Battlefield 1 as well, and the new consoles coming out. Because there are some people out there that are like me that don't even have barely 2 nickels to rub together, let alone $60 or $400, you know, depending on the console you buy, if you buy it. Which is sad to say, yes, but it happens, and some of us have to count our pennies, so to speak. So, that being said, let's just jump right into it. And yes, this is Battlefield 4 gameplay. And some of you might ask, well, how did you get Battlefield 4? I thought you said you didn't have enough money to get it. I didn't! But a friend of mine got me a $25 code on a card, you know, those things you can buy from like Walmart or whatever fucking store you go to, Best Buy, GameStop, whatever. He got me a $25 one, you know, because he wanted to play the new Ark Survival Evolved map, but that was $20, and then Battlefield 4 was on sale for $5, so I figured, you know what, fuck it, why not? Because, I mean, I installed all the DLCs as they were released for free here in the past few months, so, you know, I just figured I'd play some Battlefield 4 in the backdrop. Don't have Black Ops 3, so couldn't do that for the COD video, sorry. And I absolutely outright refuse to play Advanced Warfare. I've talked about that many times, so it's just Battlefield 4. I'm sorry, but that's how it is. Now, getting to Infinite Warfare, I feel like when it comes down to it, you're gonna have to use your best guess, you know, just wait for the game to fully come out, and then eventually go on sale if you really 100% feel like you might buy it. Just wait for gameplays to come out on YouTube of the fucking game first, because if you're still on the fence about it, look at the gameplays for multiplayer, campaign, though I know a lot of you out there don't give two shits about the campaign, but as a person who's only been on Xbox Live for 5 years and has been playing COD since Big Red 1, the campaign is sort of important to me, and I feel like Infinity Ward has always delivered strong campaigns. I can't speak for Ghost, because again, I didn't play it, I didn't have the money for it when it came around, but I heard, you know, not so stellar things about the multiplayer, though from what I've seen, it was perfectly fine, as far as I could tell. The one thing I would say I wasn't on board with, just from what I saw, was the aliens thing, the extinction. That just seemed like they were phoning it in, so to speak, trying to draw in the zombies crowd. And now they're going full-blown zombies in Infinite Warfare. But for Infinite Warfare, I just feel like it's completely unoriginal, and space is the only quote-unquote innovation coming to it. I believe I saw very short clips of multiplayer maps that had like zero-G environments going on, and I, you know, so lately as a staple for COD multiplayer maps, there's usually some kind of environmental trap, you know, like Black Ops 2, there was lava like through the middle of it, and I believe eventually like lava eventually took out one entire section of the map. I believe there was another map that did that with snow, but unless it's like an environmental thing where eventually, like, if someone shoots out of like a certain window, the air pressure gets shot to shit, and then like all the air and oxygen gets sucked out, and then you're like in zero-G. I don't know, but it just doesn't feel natural. It feels forced, like they're forcing innovations, or what they feel like are innovations, and it's just not that good in my opinion. It really isn't. I don't want to play a game where the developers feel forced to make innovations to keep me interested in their game. I want to play a game where the developers, you can tell that they enjoyed what they did, and it just came naturally, and it flowed, and it just makes the game feel that much more entertaining. And from what I've seen with COD Ghost, from like live streams at the COD Ghost, what I've seen for COD Infinite Warfare from like live streams and the Call of Duty XP event lately, and trailers and sneak peeks that some YouTubers have gotten, it's just phoned in to me. I don't think it's going to be a good game. And it feels like it's only selling because of like the Modern Warfare Remastered, and the proof of that is in the fucking Xbox store. If you go on your Xbox and you go into the store, Infinite Warfare alone, just by itself, is rated at 2 stars as a collective. It is rated at 2 stars, whereas Infinite Warfare bundled with Modern Warfare Remastered is rated 2.5 stars to 2 3/4 stars between the $80 and $100 versions. People are only into the game because of the remastered, and they fucked you on that point because you can only get the remastered on the most expensive editions. And it feels like they weren't confident enough in their own product as a standalone that they threw in the remastered to make you buy it. But not just that, they threw it in to make you buy it with the only most expensive editions. And some people speculate, oh, they'll just release it later as its own separate thing for like $20. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But what the hell will they care when they've already got a lot of people's $80, a lot of people's $100, you know? So I just feel like they aren't confident enough in their own fucking product that they had to package it with the remastered and then tack on an extra $20, an extra $40. And that's just wrong. There's nothing okay with that. And not only that, it's eerily similar to Black Ops 3 and Advanced Warfare. You know, it's got Black Ops 3's movement systems. It's got Advanced Warfare's gun varieties. Well, Black Ops 3 had that too, but Advanced Warfare was like the first one to do it. And a lot of the guns feel like repurposed Advanced Warfare weapons, from what I've seen. I mean, one gun looks exactly like Advanced Warfare's HBRA-3, which was, I guess, kind of like an M4, sorta. But it's just not good. It feels phoned in. And about the weapon, you can't get nukes. You can only get nukes if you have a special perk on your gun, which is only on special variants of guns that you can't even get unless you get salvage from playing the game. And that just feels like a mechanic that's forcing you to use the crafting mechanic, which I guess is a better alternative to someone spending real-life money on supply drops with that whole pay-to-win aspect. But if I know Activision, they're probably going to do supply drops on this one too, because they're a bunch of money-grubbing assholes. That's just Activision. It's what they do. Look at Destiny. Look at every fucking COD lately. They're in it for the money, and they're being blatantly obvious about it. But it just feels like it's forcing you to use a mechanic that in itself is probably not that good to even begin with. But in relation to the nukes, someone who plays COD 24/7 gets that salvage, gets the fucking variant of the gun earlier with the perk for the nuke on it. If it's a really decently overpowered weapon, they're gonna run entire lobbies. And it's just gonna frustrate people that they can't do anything because this asshole who plays nothing but COD 24/7 got that gun early and is able to do all this shit before anyone else. And it's gonna happen. And I might get some hate comments or some thumbs downs from these assholes, and they know who they are. I mean, it's just not a good mechanic to have in place. But it's slightly better, a step in the right direction anyway, from Activision being the money-grubbing whores that they are, having people spend real-life money on microtransactions for fucking supply drops. But I feel like eventually it's going to hit down that road anyway, because it's fucking Activision. And even more about the guns, they are releasing old Call of Duty guns for use in Infinite Warfare, but they're in their own special category called classic weapons or classic guns. And it brings back the fan favorites, and they might ask you in Twitter or whatever, like, what kind of gun do you want us to bring back, and what's and who's a what's? And I believe the intervention for Modern Warfare 2 has already been confirmed in some kind of trailer they had for it. But the problem with that is you can't get nukes with those guns. because they're just the base gun from those games, and they don't have any perks on them whatsoever. Which brings me to an even bigger point. What's the point in adding those guns if we can't get special variants of those guns? And those guns are going to be outclassed and outshined by the special variants that you're making us craft with your dumbass crafting mechanic. Why add the guns if we can't use them? I mean, you can use them, but odds are they're going to be outclassed and outshined and, for lack of a better term, outgunned by the new guns in the game. It's just plain out fucking stupid.
Listen, this is our current objective.
I don't, it's just, as a whole, the whole mechanic, the whole mechanic of crafting your guns just seems lazy and forceful by design. You know, we don't feel like putting these guns in the game, so we're gonna have you craft them, or maybe it's their way of being innovative. You know, instead of finding the gun in a supply drop, you actually have to take the time to craft it. I don't know, it's two sides of the same coin, really. On one hand, it does feel lazy and forceful, and on the other hand, you know, it's an attempt at being innovative and making people earn shit instead of having them pay their way. But again, Activision being Activision, we'll see how long that lasts before people are like, well, the people with the money to spend on it are like, hey, supply drops, this is taking too long, wah, boo-hoo. And Activision's like, sure, we'll take your money, shovel it in our face hole. It's... I don't know. I don't think it's a good purchase, but it's a wait-and-see game. I really don't think it's a good purchase, people. But until next time, later.